Hey everybody, welcome back. So I just wanted to give you a quick little update on my rescue ivy. The one that I discovered had some spider mites. Yes, spider mites. So I got this rescue ivy from Lowe's a while back, and I've had it in my office at home. And I had started to notice last week that it was looking a little dry, and I had thought maybe that I had forgotten to water it, possibly, and that it was just kind of suffering. Well, when I was cleaning today, the sunlight was coming through the window and kind of just hit one of the leaves just right, and I noticed little tiny webs. He's got spider mites. So I didn't even think about checking him for spider mites. It just didn't even think about it. So my once beautiful ivy is now a dried, crispy, sad mess. I'm gonna go through with some neem oil and I'm just gonna spray him down really good on the fronts and the backs of the leaves. And then I'm gonna take him back inside and put him back into isolation. I don't wanna leave him outside because the neem oil is toxic to honeybees, because I see that there is still some issues here. So I'll give you a look at kind of what they look like and what I missed. So they may be a little bit hard to see because of the sun, but you can actually see them crawling around on there, which is pretty nasty. I might actually try to spray the leaves down again with the hose, and then once they dry a little bit, I'll go back through with the neem oil. This was a nice full ivy plant at one point, and now it's just been reduced to one dying green stem and a bunch of dried sadness. Take me as an example if you see one of your plants, especially ivy, because they are really prone to spider mites, which makes me even madder at myself that I didn't check it to begin with. But if you see, your ivy starting to look a little dry, probably not a bad idea to give it a once over, because you might be dealing with spider mites. And then, if that happens, water pressure is your friend when dealing with these little guys. Hey everybody, welcome back. So I just wanted to give you a quick little update on my rescue ivy. The one that's been dealing with the spider mites. Yeah. So I'm still a little annoyed with myself that I didn't catch it sooner, but I know it happens. But my poor little ivy was looking so good. And now he almost looks worse than when I first got him. So I feel really bad about it. I'm gonna be replanting him today since so many of the vines on him had dried up. I'm just gonna take them out. Some of them are still kind of hanging in there, but I think it's just gonna be better off if I just take him out, keep the healthy stems, and just put him into a smaller pot and just kind of give him a chance to recoup a little bit rather than keeping those kind of iffy stems in there. I'll show you what I'm dealing with. So it's been a little over a week since the last treatment of neem oil on this guy, and I looked him over earlier. I'm not seeing any more spider mites on him. That does not mean, however, that they're all gone. They're sneaky, and I'm paranoid. So I'll be keeping a close eye on him to make sure that there isn't a resurgence. This is probably the healthiest stem that I've got on here yet. He is browning and he is yellow. He has been outside on our outside deck just because I really wasn't ready to bring him back in the house yet. So he is pretty wet. It did rain last night. I did take a tip cutting, so I will be keeping this vine over here and then this one right here. The rest of them are going. I'm just going to dump him out in my garbage bin here, and I will not be putting any of the soil or any of the dry leaves or vines in my compost bin. I don't know if there's still spider mites in this vicinity, and I don't want to risk infecting my compost bin, I guess you could say. All right, so these are my lone survivors. And since there is only two stems that I'm gonna be putting into this guy, I could honestly use a smaller pot, but this is the smallest pot that I have that isn't terracotta, so we're gonna make it work. All right, so I've got his two sad little stems potted back up. So I will be keeping an eye on him to make sure that there isn't a resurgence of spider mites. He still will be kept in isolation in my house. I don't like dealing with bugs. I don't think anyone does. That's dumb. No one likes dealing with bugs. But when you've got more than just a handful of plants, it's a really big chore to deal with an infestation, especially when you've got as many plants as I do. It's a lot. Poor little guy is going to be kept in isolation for a bit longer. And I don't know if it's made a difference or not, but I have been spraying down my plants with rosemary water, just water with rosemary essential oil in it. I've read that rosemary is a great deterrent for spider mites, so I've been kind of just misting my houseplants with it, just enough to get that scent on there, hopefully to keep any future possible invaders out of my house. But I'll give you an update in the future about how he's doing, if he made a second comeback on life or if he was just done fighting and he gave up. If you haven't already, subscribe. If you don't know how to subscribe, you go out to my channel page and where you'll see a red subscribe button. You hit that, you subscribe, and then you want to hit the bell that's to the right of that, which that'll turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll get a notification. Anything helps me out and I appreciate it, and you guys have been awesome, and I really like getting comments from you guys. I try to keep up on them as much as I can, but you guys are awesome. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mom life. Jack, say hi. Jack, say hi. You got your